In Bungie's recent blog post, This Week at Bungie, they gave us a ton of information about what's coming on August 28th with the Forsaken preload, as well as what's coming with Forsaken on September 4th. The blog post had a ton of information, but one part has the community up in arms. This part. Between now and the preload on August 28th, use your Year 1 mods to lock in the elemental damage type you want for your Year 1 weapons. They will retain that damage type after the mod deprecation. On August 28th, the old mod slot will go away, and you will no longer be able to insert any mods into Year 1 gear or change the elemental damage type. Some weapons will be moving to the kinetic slot and will not retain elemental damage regardless of what mod you had applied, and the Eco Sniper Rifle and Shotgun will be locked to Solar. That last line, the Ecolo Sniper Rifle and Shotgun will be locked to Solar. This line has everyone losing their minds. Well, not really, but some people are kind of upset about it. Some people are saying this is being done to artificially make Forsaken weapons better, but I don't think that's actually the case. Instead, I believe this is occurring to normalize what is possible for a solo player when it comes to damage output. Now that's a bold statement and quite frankly probably makes no sense right away, but I aim to use this video to help you understand what I mean by normalizing solar player damage output. But to do so, there's gonna be some math. So strap in. First, we need to look at what is possible for a solo player when it comes to damage, and I'll be using the EP Shotgun for this example because that's the topic of this video. The EP Shotgun, we know through a lot of testing done throughout the community, does 5,223 damage to Brachion, the boss of the Pyramidid Strike, while doing the Prestige Nightfall. This is going to be our base headshot damage that we'll be using. We also know the RPM of the EP Shotgun. We know that it sits at around 180 RPM, give or take a few frames, even though the tooltip says 100, and we know this is because of the rapid fire frame, giving it full auto capabilities, which for some reason increases the RPM, but anyway, this means it fires 3 bullets a second at 5,223 damage per bullet, or 15,669 damage per second. This number is with no buffs as a solo player. So we need to see what is possible for a solo player. The highest multiplier a solo player can get right now is 5.625 times. This comes from Hammer Strike providing a 1.5 times multiplier, Heavyweight providing a 2 times multiplier, a Singe providing a 1.25 multiplier, and Trench Barrel providing another 1.5 times multiplier. So right now, a solo player can do at maximum 88,138 damage per second to the boss in a Prestige Nightfall. We'll come back to this number later, but for now, just remember that number. Or don't, I'll mention it again later. Moving on. Next, let's bring a second player into the mix. This player will be providing an Empowering Rift, which is an additional 1.2 times multiplier. And this player will also be using the EP Shotgun in this example. Due to the 1.2 times multiplier provided by Empowering Rift, our multiplier jumps from 5.625 times to 6.75 times, which in turn brings our solo DPS from 88,138 to 105,766 damage per second. But there are 2 players, so in total, they will be doing 211,532 damage per second. Now, let's bring in our third fire team member. He has the Tractor Cannon, another 1.5 times multiplier. Now, of course, after he shoots the Tractor Cannon, he can still do damage, but it'll be small compared to the other 2 players, so he's essentially useless. But he did bring that 1.5 times multiplier to the table, which brings our previous multiplier of 6.75 times to 10.125 times, which brings the solo DPS, which started at 88,138, to a total of 158,649 damage per second with 3 players. Now, as I said, the third person is kind of useless when it comes to damage because of the Tractor Cannon. But at the same time, because of the Tractor Cannon, his 2 teammates will be doing a combined total of 317,298 damage per second, which is nothing to downplay. However, if that third player had also brought the EP Shotgun instead of the Tractor Cannon and didn't apply that additional 1.5x multiplier, and we went back to the 6.75x multiplier and 105,766 damage per second each, all 3 players combined would still do 317,298 damage per second. So right now, before Forsaken, there really isn't a point to bring the Tractor Cannon because you could pretty much do the same amount of damage. But let's rewind and go back to the highest possible solo DPS. That number, the 88,138 with a 5.625 multiplier. In Forsaken, we know the EP Shotgun will be moved to the second slot and will no longer be a power weapon. However, as far as I know, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, the Tractor Cannon will be remaining in the power weapon slot. This means that a solo player can bring both the EP Shotgun and the Tractor Cannon. And if the EP Shotgun wasn't locked to solar and could still be void, a solo player could apply the Tractor Cannon buff themselves and have a solo multiplier of 8.4375 times. This brings a Solar player maximum to 132,207 damage per second. Bringing in a second player to provide an empowering rift puts the multiplier to 10.125 times, raising the 2-player maximum to a combined 317,298 damage per second, and bringing in a third player into the mix would raise this even further to a combined 475,945 damage per second, which is an additional 158,648 damage, which is essentially 4 players worth of damage in a 3-player activity. I could be wrong. Maybe Bungie really did just want to make Forsaken weapons artificially better. Maybe they didn't think about the fact that allowing players to self-apply the Tractor Cannon buff would essentially create a 4th player's amount of damage in 3-player activities. Even Greg Pang, a developer over at Bungie, said in a tweet that it was to make Forsaken weapons seem better. Huh. Man, I really wasted my time with this video. All that math to realize that I should just be preemptively mad at Bungie with no regard or second thought to balance whatsoever. Typical Bungie. Now, of course, that was sarcasm, and to some of you, that sarcasm may have been a little harsh, but that's because I see a rampant hive mind of people that get pre-mad about things before looking into themselves and making their own decisions. I see so many people get upset about something because someone else is upset about that thing. I, like a lot of you, read that the EP Shotgun and EP Sniper were getting locked to Solar and thought it was weird, and to be honest, I got a little frustrated by it also. But after doing the math and looking for a reason as to potentially why they might have done this from a balance perspective, it became very clear. It was to prevent a solo player from obtaining an 8.437 times multiplier without the help of their teammates. This was a balance move and nothing more. I get it. Us as Destiny fans have been burned too many times, and anything that is even slightly off course, we lose our minds about. We're a passionate community, and we like our stuff. But in this case, you gotta go find something else to be mad at, because locking the EP Sniper and Shoddy to Solar was a good move, at least from a balance perspective. Now guys, I hope my point came across in this video clearly. I hope you enjoyed it. So if it did, or you did, depending on which part in the sentence it applies, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like button. And if you are new here, be sure to subscribe. Also guys, I don't ask a lot, but this time I'd appreciate it if you shared this video around to your favorite places to share videos, whether that's Twitter or Facebook or your favorite Discord, wherever you see fit. Also, speaking of Discord and my expert segue skills, in the description is a link to my Discord. So if you like Discord servers and you like me, you can have both of those things by clicking that link. And as always, thank you for continued support. But for now, that's all I got for you guys today. So I'm gonna get out of here. So my name is Matt, and I'll see you guys next time.